Hi, I'm Ingrid and we're going to be working on our block of the month for February. So get out your goddess tool and get in touch with your fabulous inner goddess, and we're going to be sewing together right now. So get out your instructions. I like to have some A, B's and C's so that I can get everything all lined up. Find A, cut your strip, and then B, cut your strip. You can also stack these together if you want to and stack them as once. Put them as one piece. So put them right sides together. So there's A, B stacked together, C, D, you're going to cut your 4 rectangles, and then E and F. So just cut them just like the instructions, and now we're going to start to sew. So stack your A, B's right sides together. It's hard to tell with batik, so you either just wing it or you could put a chalk line on it so that you know which is the wrong side and this then would be the right side. You're going to take your half square triangle end of your goddess tool and get out your instructions from the goddess tool ruler that I did make for you, and then it will be a lot more clear. And so you're going to then cut this whole thing into your half square triangles, and don't forget, slide that up to the other dotted line on the bottom to cut off the bottom. That's really important. So you're going to go back and forth and you're going to cut 4 sets of these. So when you sew them, you're just going to be sewing 1/4 of an inch straight down here, and the nice thing about this is when they are sewn and you open them, they're perfect size and there's no dog ears, and they're really tidy and neat on the back. So make 4 of those, and then we're going to start cutting out tall triangles. Now we're working with our tall triangles, and we're going to be cutting these into this shape, and it's quite simple. You're just going to put the line on there and go on either side, and once you've cut one of them, you can flip it and cut more. So these are the tall triangles. Now, don't forget, with the tall triangle sides, I have 2 pieces stacked together here, and so then they're ready for making partners for this. So you're using your half tall triangle line, and as I said before in your introduction video, if you're nervous to know if you have enough left here, just draw yourself a line and then flip it over. Make sure that that fits on here and you've still got your cutting line. And if it does, it's perfect. So make sure that your dot line is really right on the fabric. Don't make it scant, don't make it over, make it right on the fabric. I can just see a little bit of fabric there. When you cut this one, you're cutting it up. And don't forget to take off that little corner piece right here for our placement. And then you're going to flip this, and then you're going to cut off that little placement line right here also on those. When we're going to sew, and you open them up, take the right piece, flat edge down here, straight diagonal all up the side here. Make sure, flat little piece. This is all even, 1/4 of an inch sewing here. And then flip it back and press it. Then take the other side. Now, if you remember from our first time that we made these, and I will get one to show you, that when you put on the second side, you are going to make sure that you have flat piece on the bottom, straight on the side, and these points will nicely match up with the point below from the first side triangle you sewed on. So you're going to end up with a tall triangle block like this. Don't forget, when you trim it, to make sure that you center your 2 1/4 inch line right on here, and you're going to now trim that to the size I've told you in your instructions. If there's a tiny wee little piece of fabric over here that doesn't have sewing, don't even concern yourself with it, because a 1/4 inch sewing line's here, and it's going to be perfect when it's sewn into your block. So now you've made your tall triangles, and we'll be right back to sew the last piece. Okay, so now we're going to be cutting our E strip. And don't forget, whenever you're doing this, I like to work with 2 rulers. So I put one ruler really close to the edge, butt up, and that's nice and straight on my strip here and here. Then butt up the other one, remove the first, so that when I just take that little sliver off to tidy up, I don't have to switch my fabric around. Now we're going to be using our half square triangle again, that end, but we're using the 2.5 mark, line that up. And again, we're going to be cutting these. You're going to be cutting quite a few, and don't forget, as we normally do, slide it up and then cut off that tiny little corner so it's nice and neat. So we're going to cut 4 out of that. Now that is our F. Now we're going to be doing our E, and here is our E center block. And we're going to be cutting off corners on this, and we're using our corner cutaway, and we're using the small one. So put the corner cutaway small right on here, cut, and then you're going to go around the whole thing and cut all 4 corners across here and here and here, so that you have something to sew to in the center. And when you sew this, what's nice is the 2 opposite sides, the flat will match perfectly over here, and you just sew on the diagonal and done. Put another triangle here, so you will have 2 opposite sides done, press, and then do the other 2 opposite sides, because you've already got those cut out. So in the end, what you're going to have is this. So here is your E with your F pieces around it. Okay, so nice and tidy. When you assemble your block, press the way I've told you. I think you'll be quite impressed with that. And if you happen to make a quilt out of it, it would give you a lovely curved looking quilt with lots of dimension to it. But your block has been simple to make. Thanks for sewing with me today. And at the end of this video, we're going to have a few things from our classes, and there'll be a link for you to click to see more classes that you might want to do. So I hope you enjoyed sewing with me today, and that you'll be sewing with me again in the future, in the store at a class, or doing Block of the Month. And if you found this video useful, please leave us a like and click subscribe for future content. And this has been Ingrid from Quiltessential Co, and thanks for sewing with me today, and we will see you soon.